What's up, everybody? This is Kieran and Reese, otherwise known as the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, the O.C.G', and hopefully I'm live with Resident Evil Remake. Okay. Face your fears fight your fears and survive. I think I'm right where I need to be. Or almost where I need to be. Yeah, it's a shortcut. Then, okay, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Got it. All right. Right now I need to go down the stairs and use the elevator. Fucking kidding me, bro? Fuck yeah. Shortcut. Fucking A. Okay. I'm gonna Google some really quickly. Oh, hey, how's it going, dude? Just finishing up the original Resident Evil remake, and then moving back on to 4. I think I'm actually gonna restart 4 remake because 1, I missed some items. I was trying to go for 100%, and I missed some items that I couldn't go back for. And 2, I have a whole playthrough of Resident Evil. And I don't want Rhea's fucking shit popping up in that whole episode. So I'm gonna private those old RE4 episodes. I'm honestly feeling pretty butthurt about her right now, to tell you the truth. And I don't want to have any more to do with her. I was feeling bad, and I thought, hey, maybe I overreacted. Hey, maybe we can work things out, seeing what she did today. Nope, we're done. I mean, that was dirty, fucking, manipulative, two-faced fucking shit. So. And besides the fact that I missed out on getting 100%, which I really wanted to get 100% anyway, like that whole last part was like me and Rhea. It wasn't like me and Rhea had a brief spat in the stream. Like that whole stream where me and her had a spat, dude, was just like the whole last hour of that stream was just a spat. So it like ate up the whole fucking Let's Play. I don't want that public. So I start over. I can wipe private deal videos, wipe that out of existence, and then get 100%. I didn't, for most of the Resident Evil games, when I set out, like, last October to replay the whole series, I didn't go for 100%. That was never the goal. But I like Resident Evil 4 Remake so much that that's one of the ones I would go for 100%. I just can't believe she did that, dude. That was crazy. I mean, fucking cozying up with somebody she hates just to spite me. That's some real fucking bullshit. And then I'm the offensive person, Alex. That's fucking wild. Yeah. That right there. Like, I say what you want to about me, how offensive I am. I would never cozy up to somebody's enemies that I didn't even like, that Rhea literally said she didn't like her, just to hurt somebody else. I would never do that to somebody. I'd say, fuck you, we're not gonna be friends anymore. I wouldn't saddle up to somebody's fucking enemies. I mean, that's fucked up. And the whole time I was feeling bad. Ah, shit. The whole time I was feeling bad about what happened between me and her. Like, you literally saw me in stream saying, oh, maybe I went too far. We'll patch it up. So the whole time I was feeling guilty and trying to patch it up. She's doing that shit. That makes it hurt even worse. So, but that's the last time I'm going to mention her. I'm not going to talk about her anymore. In streams, in Discord, people like her, they fucking thrive on attention. and she can suck my fat dick. I'm not giving any more of it to her. I'm just explaining why, you know, I'm a little bit pissy, because that really upset me, and I found out about that just earlier today, so it's kind of fresh. Like, I just found out about that a couple hours ago. I didn't mention it when the state of play was going, because obviously we were in that, but, like, right before we had the conversation, Emily, who I've been talking to for months, and she didn't know that I've been talking to her for months, showed me that. And Emily tried to give her the benefit of that. She's like, well, you don't know she did to hurt you. Dude, she hasn't talked to you for months. She said she hates you. And then 2 days after we have a falling out, she sent you a friend request. Bullshit, she didn't do that to hurt me. Let's be fucking real. Okay, that's too much of a coincidence, bro. So whatever chance that me and her had of patching stuff up, she threw out the window when she did that shit. That's some low down fucking snake-like cunty shit. And you know me, I really detest the word cunt. You almost never hear me call somebody a cunt, Alex. If you hear me call somebody a cunt, run. That is a word that I literally reserve for the people that I hate most. Yeah, so I'm not going to talk about her anymore. I'm just explaining why I was ate up about it. Because it's not like something I've said on. I just now found out about it. So that kind of pissed me off. Okay, I need to put the here we go. Yeah, put the battery in here. Yeah, sorry to beat a dead horse. Like I said, I just found out about that. Really upset me. So yeah, honestly, the state of play was okay. It wasn't amazing, but it was better than their last state of play. I forget when it was their last state of play, like late last year, October, November, and I remember there wasn't a single thing I was interested in from that last year. So, I mean, this state of play wasn't fucking amazing, but at least it was better than last time, and it had some good stuff. Like the God of War fucking remake, literally made that worth it by itself. Oh shit, wrong way. My bad. I would have just taken a fucking remaster. But then I saw God of War Trilogy. And I thought, really? Why would they just remaster 3 and not Ghost of Sparta and Chains of Olympus? And then I saw Remake, and I'm like, no fucking way. Okay. Dude, that's gonna be so good. And I'm thinking they made it like it's gonna be a full modernization. You know what I mean? Not like better graphics. I think they're gonna go full rotating camera, like full modernized gameplay. Dude, like, imagine God of War 1. Imagine God of War 1 with a behind-the-back camera, rotatable camera, and full modernized gameplay. Fuck, that's gonna be awesome. And it sounds like they're possibly recording new dialogue because they got T.C. Carson back. The original actor for God of War, that was the guy you saw in the showcase. So if they were just reusing the old dialogue, they would just reuse the old dialogue. So that's interesting. That they might actually add new content to the games. And then Defiance Remastered. Dude, that looks fucking awesome. I first wondered why were they only just doing Defiance? Because, you know, they could also remaster Blood Omen 2. But, dude, they put a lot of work in that. In particular, the camera. The original Defiance, Alex, it actually kind of pissed people off because almost all of the games since Soul Reaver had a rotatable camera. So Soul Reaver 1, Soul Reaver 2, Blood Omen 2. And then for some reason, Defiance went to a fixed camera, which felt like a step backwards. It's one of the only instances I can think of where they went to a fixed camera from a 3D camera. But then it wasn't just that. The camera angles were not that great at all. Like, even for the time, the fixed camera angles could be really problematic. And there were several times where the camera, it made it hard to see what you're supposed to be doing. So, like, even by the fixed camera standards, like God of War, DMC did it much better. So it's like you replaced a perfectly good rotatable camera, and it's one of the things that really divided people who played Defiance. So the fact that they're going back and adding a fully 3D camera, that's a game changer, man. And they didn't show much gameplay, but from what I could tell, Alex, yeah, a boulder comes running down here and it's going to kill you. You have to run. This is one of those frustrating death traps. From what I could tell, they overhauled the gameplay as well. Like, the actual combat looked significantly better. So they added bells and whistles to Soul Reaver Remaster, but they left the combat mostly how it was. So it seems like they're putting quite a bit more effort into overhauling Defiance. And then they're including a demo, a leftover demo from the canceled Legacy King game. I looked into that. It's not the whole game, unfortunately, because it was never finished. But it's a good chunk of the game called Dark Chronicle. And it was pretty far in development and it got canceled. And that, we knew there was a demo. We knew they had made a playable demo, but it has never been seen outside of the company. You know what I mean? Like, it was to showcase the gameplay. So being able to actually see that canceled demo is fucking sick. And it's coming out really soon. March 3rd, I think. So less than a month away. So I'm actually pumped for that.
Is that you, Jill?
Is that voice Enrico's?
Yeah?
You're alive!
Stop! Are you with anybody, Jill?
No, but why?
The stars are finished. Someone is a traitor. Umbrella set us up.
Enrico! Traitor? Who?
There we go. Fucked with the wrong bitch. That's right. And then they're actually also doing a new Legacy of Kain game, Alex. They just announced that. It's a 2D game. I know you hate 2D. But, honestly, with how long Legacy of Kain has been dormant, man, I'll take it. And you can tell they're testing the waters more and more and more and more. So I guarantee you if this remaster does well, and this new smaller scale game does well, we're going to get a new game. So I'm excited because it seems like there's a good chance that Legacy of Kain very much is still alive. You know how much I love Legacy of Kain. And I have mixed feelings. I have mixed feelings about Master Collection Volume 2. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that Master Collection 2 is coming. For sure. Like, I'm excited for that. But, yeah, I might as well grab the green herb back there, or the blue one, I'm sorry. I'm excited it's coming. But that means it will be about 3 years between collections. So, I'm kind of wondering why it took so long to do it, especially if it's only really two games and a Game Boy game. Because they also include Ghost Battle, that's a literally GBA emulation. That's insanely fucking easy. I also wonder why they announced it and it's still so far away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, okay. I understand that it was always going to take longer to do Volume 2. Because Volume 1, they already had stuff ready to go. MGS1 already was easy to emulate because the PS1 version is easy as fuck to emulate. A toaster can emulate it. And Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 already had the HD collection for PS3 and 360. So they already had a port of 2 and 3 all ready to go. They just needed to zhuzh it up. There was no port for 4. So I always knew 4 was going to take probably longer because they needed to make a full port from scratch. And PS3 can be tricky to code, but 3 years just seems like a long time. And I also wonder why it's coming out in fucking August. I wonder if they're maybe not hiding more games. I also am kind of disappointed that Portable Ops and the Twin Snakes aren't on there because Portable Ops is a very important game to the series. It literally ties into Metal Gear Solid 4, Alex. And they actually show flashbacks and mention it. Like, Metal Gear Solid 4 and Portable Ops literally came out the same year. And they include parts of the story of Portable Ops in 4. Like, they actually directly talk about it and mention it. So, Portable Ops is not some throwaway game that nobody cares about. It's an important part of the series. And then I was still hoping the Twin Snakes would come, because it deserves to be re-released legitimately. Oh, hey, shotgun shells. Nice. It deserves to be re-released legitimately. And once again, is really easy to do. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying, though, dude. Portable Ops is a mainline game, dog. So it's part of the package. That's what I mean. Oh, Peace Walker is a portable game, Alex. And fun fact, I don't know if you knew this, but Peace Walker, fun fact, I don't know if you knew this, Alex, but Peace Walker was originally supposed to be Metal Gear Solid 5. In fact, there's logos that people found. Fuck. Hold on a second. There's logos. Give me 1 second. Fucking spider. There's logos from early in development. For Peace Walker that say Metal Gear Solid 5 Peace Walker. And Hideo Kojima literally is on record saying that to him, Peace Walker is Metal Gear Solid 5. The only reason that Peace Walker didn't get called Metal Gear Solid 5, Alex, is because Konami put their foot down and said, well, you're releasing this on a PSP. We don't want the next mainline Metal Gear game to be on PSP, so drop the 5. But it was originally designed to be 5. It originally had a number, and it was made with the intention of it being a main game in the fucking series. And a lot of people don't know that. Great. I mean, of course, I know that because I'm a huge fan of the series, but yeah. And also, 5 directly ties into Peace Walker. It uses a lot of the same characters of Peace Walker, like Master Miller. It uses a lot of the mechanics from Peace Walker, and the plot begins after Peace Walker. In fact, literally Ground Zeroes, which is not a spoiler, starts with you going to rescue Paz, who is from Peace Walker. So seriously? Great, of course I got poisoned. Whatever. So, I mean, they're already including one PSP game, Alex, is what I'm saying. If you're including one of the 2 main PSP games, why not include both? Is my point. Oh, at least they were kind enough to give me a fucking blue herb. Yeah. Yeah, why not include those too? You know what I mean? Also, I'm wondering what the price situation is going to be. Since there's only really 2 main games in the collection. Yeah, but that's still kind of lame, though? Because remember, the Metal Gear Solid 1 Master Collection at launch was $50, and you were getting a lot more games out of that, so... Yep, I died. Fucking boulder. No, I mean, Alex, even if you count, like, major games, dude, you got MGS 1, 2, and 3. That's 3 major Metal Gear games right there. And not a big deal. I didn't lose that much progress. So, and then if we count, you know, the other games, you're actually getting 7. So, like, they're charging almost as much for less games. Even if we're just counting the main games, we're going from 3 major games to 2. So, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's not the worst. Like I said, you know, I know people are so excited. For I'm excited for it. I just, you know, I think they're slightly overcharging. I am really excited for MGS4 though, because it really didn't run especially well. They probably won't let you buy it on your own. They didn't let you do that for the Master Collection. Volume 1, you either bought it all at once or you didn't. To my knowledge, there's still no way to buy them separately. Are you sure about that? I need to look that up, because they let you install the game separately, but I've never seen a way to buy them individually. At least not on PlayStation. Maybe it's different on Switch. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to... on Switch or PS?
Is that you?
Interesting. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter because I already own the whole collection, but yeah. But there's several things I'm interested to see. Okay, first of all, I'm really excited to play uh, MGS4 with high frame rates. That game could run really badly on PS3. It could get down to like 15, 12 frames a second during the heavy battles. Now, in fairness, a lot of PS3 games ran like shit. In hindsight, they pushed the graphics to expensive frame rate back then really hard. So you had a lot of visually impressive PS3 games run at frame rates that would not be considered acceptable now. But I'm really excited to be able to play it at 60 FPS. That's going to be a big win. But I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to do it for Switch. Because if they kept that shit at fucking 30 FPS, man, for Switch, that'd be so lame. But considering they already did it for fucking MGS2, dude, I'm not holding my breath. And then I'm kind of curious. One, MGS4 had pressure-sensitive face button functionality. But PS3 was the last generation of Sony consoles that had pressure-sensitive buttons. Well, not counting the triggers on PS5, but not the face buttons. So how are they going to alter the controls for that? Because no modern platforms use the pressure-sensitive buttons. They already did that for Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 in the Master Collection, but I'm wondering how they're going to do that for 4. And that'll be interesting to see. And 3, are they going to reactivate the multiplayer? Metal Gear Solid 4 and Peace Walker both had really robust online. 4 had Metal Gear Online, which actually is really well regarded and really good. There are people who have their own private servers for that to this day because people love Metal Gear Online so much. Or Metal Gear Online 2, I'm sorry. Call it 2 because the first one was for 3. And it was a big part of why people love 4. So, are they going to bring that back? And then Peace Walker didn't have online, like, versus, but it did let you play most of the game with friends, up to 4 players. Are they going to bring back the online for that? When they brought Peace Walker to 360 and PS3, they did. They revived the servers then, so are you going to do that? Because that would be awesome. I actually never got to play Metal Gear Online 3 until many years later, and by the time I got my copy of Metal Gear Solid 4, the servers were already shut down. You could no longer play online. So I would be really interested to be able to try it online. And I also never got to do Peace Walker co-op. So I hope that they bring back the multiplayer for both of those games. I mean, it's not like vital, but I hope. And then also, the trophy list. They made adjustments to the trophies in the Metal Gear First Collection, right? Like, they made it less bullshit. For example, Metal Gear Solid 2 on PS3, the HD Collection, and Vita is infamous because they want you to get all the dog tags, right? Which, that sounds fine, but it turns out that in Metal Gear Solid 2, each difficulty has different dog tags, and they're in different places. So they essentially made you play the game on every difficulty and get every dog tag every time. A lot of people fucking hated that. They removed that on the Metal Gear Solid 2 and the Master Collection, made it so you just had to get one set of dog tags, which, oh my god, thank god. So, with Metal Gear Solid 4 having notoriously shitty trophies, like some of these trophies are just bullshit, I'm hoping they're going to make some adjustments. Like, for one, I would like it if they either remove the online trophies or they put them in a separate category because, you know, I feel about multiplayer trophies. And 2, some of them are just bullshit. I hope they get rid of those. And you know what? If they're gonna include Ghost Babel, which by the way is a spinoff, that's kind of what pisses me off. Like if you're gonna go fucking spinoff, then you could have given us Revengeance or whatever. Give it trophies. Don't fucking put a game in there and not give it trophies. And I will say that actually the original Metal Gear 1 and 2 has trophies on the Master Collection. I didn't think they were gonna do that, so. Oh, hey, hold on, right? That's, yeah, there's shotgun shells back here. And go and grab them. So I'm interested to see what they do with that. Because I would obviously like to go for the platinum, but not if it's, trust me, if you saw the original Metal Gear Solid 4 trophy list, it's awful. Also, apparently, there was a new trailer for RE9. I need to watch that. And apparently it looks like Sherry's going to be in it. So I'm excited for that. And I'm excited for any info I can get about RE9. So I want to check out the new trailer. Not that I need to be sold on it, per se. I'm already on board. But they showed new footage, is what I'm understanding. Yeah, special Porsche. But we didn't know Sherry was coming back, and I think that's really cool. Especially because they're going back to Raccoon City, where at least Leon is, and that's where he met Sherry, so it makes sense. And Sherry has been absent in the series since RE2. Or no, I'm sorry, RE6. So she's been gone a while. Whew. Well, fuck, at least they didn't kill me that time. See, I think the boulder shit's kind of ass. Because it's really hard to move out of the way. And if you don't, it instantly kills you. I don't like that at all, honestly. Especially because Resident Evil is not known with the tank controls for having amazingly precise movement anyway. So expecting you to move with precision to avoid the ball is kind of lame. Oh yeah, I remember this. And this is one of the things I've always laughed about Resident Evil. You can push things, Alex, but you can only push them. You can't pull them. So like, and I always joke about how like the Resident Evil characters can't use their opposable thumbs. And so for this puzzle, in order to get this item over here, you need to push this over here, and then use the crank. And it's like, or you could just use your fucking thumb to pull it! Special agents, my ass! You can't even use your fucking... You can't even pull something! It's just funny. It's been like that in all the Resident Evil games, where you can only push, you can never pull. And it's just funny here, because you have to go through all these extra steps. When it's like, no, you can just grab it and pull, like any regular person. Like, no, make me push it here. Like, make me push it over here, Alex, to this wall, then turn a crank to push it away from the wall, instead of just grabbing it and pulling it like a human being. Like, all these extra steps. Like, you see how unnecessary that is? Pull it! But yeah, everything I've seen of RE9 has made me more pumped to play it. Yeah. Well, honestly, Alex, most of the puzzles in Resident Evil aren't like this, dude. You know what I mean? Most of the puzzles are decent puzzles. This is just one of the stupid ones. But yeah. If they were to remake Resident Evil, I don't think anybody would be crying out for this to remain. But what about the spinning statue puzzle? Here we go, I need this. Actually, hold on, let me... There we go. I say that, but I do really like this game. And I do think this is one of the better Resident Evil games. It was, yeah. That's basically the laboratory music. But, like I was saying, I think in general, this is a great game. And one of the better Resident Evil games. I think this is the best of the classic series. I think the atmosphere is really good. And I think they did a tremendous job of remembering what to keep, of knowing what to keep from the original Resident Evil, and knowing what to get rid of. And taking the atmosphere up a notch while staying true to the original. Like, this remake, the RE1 remake is really good. And I think that this is the best of the old school games all around, overall. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Well, just let me tell you that, you know, as somebody who has extensively played the original Resident Evil, they knew what to keep and what to get rid of. It also helps that this game was remade by the people who did the original, which I think is the reason why they did such a good job, because a lot of issues that can make a remake bad, Alex, are when the people who remake it don't understand the original. You know what I mean? Where, like, you see a movie remake and it's like, this is awful, because clearly the people who remake... hold on a second. Clearly, you can tell in a lot of the movie remakes that clearly the people either didn't watch the original or they didn't like the original and know what the fuck they were doing. Or they were just remaking it for a paycheck to do brand recognition. But that's not what happened here. This was remade by the same team that did the original game. Literally the same team. And it wasn't, hey, we want to capitalize on money. It wasn't, hey, we want to capitalize on money. It was, hey, we learned so much since the first Resident Evil. Like, what if we took that and we remade it? Because, obviously, like I said, the first Resident Evil, Alex, is considered to be the first true survival horror game. It basically is the first 3D horror game. So, obviously, with it being one of the first 3D horror games and being an early PS1 game, like, literally it came out in the first 6 months of PS1, yes. I agree. That there was a lot of figuring out the kinks. So that's why they remade Resident Evil 1. It wasn't, oh, we want money. Oh, we want to capitalize on the brand name. It's like, hey, we made a lot of mistakes with the first game because we were figuring this out. What if we went back and remade Resident Evil 1, taking all the stuff we've learned since then to make it better than it could be? And that's why it's so good, because it was from the original team. It was a passion project, not money, and they were taking all the stuff they learned from the game and incorporating that back into the original. And yes, the pre-rendered art's gorgeous. Especially, like, it looks good now. I would say it still looks good to this day, Alex. But especially back in 2002, yes, it did. Resident Evil 4 originally came out in 2005. January of 2005. This came out in 2002. March of 2002, I believe. So the pre-rendered backgrounds look good now. Imagine how good this looked in 2002 on the fucking GameCube. I remember people playing this. I remember playing this on GameCube and being like, oh my god, this looks good. Like, for 2002, this looked fucking mind-blowing. And really what they did for the HD remasters, they just added some better lighting and some better character models. You're mostly looking at what the original game looked like. So for 2002, holy shit, this looked good. And that's why they did pre-rendered art, because they could have way... Yeah, this was a GameCube exclusive, Alex. This didn't come to other platforms until 2014, 2015, when they did the remaster. So for like 12, 13 years, this was a GameCube exclusive. And one of the best GameCube exclusives. And like I said, this came out in the first year of GameCube's life. Like, March of 2002. It was, yeah. But seriously, this came out in, like, March of 2002, and GameCube came out at the end of 2001, so I think GameCube had not even been out 6 months when this came out for it. So I want you to think about, like, Luigi's Mansion, which Luigi's Mansion is great, don't get me wrong. But compare Luigi's Mansion to this game's graphics. Like, when people played this back in the day, they were like, oh my god, this looks good. This game looked fucking amazing for 2002. Honestly, one of the best looking GameCube games. And like the fact that it still looks good now, even though it's 24 years old, should tell you all you need to know. I mean, how many games are this old that look this good that hold up this well? This holds up really well. Yes, dude, you're gonna get me. You're gonna get me started, and you're gonna. Okay, allow me to go on a little bit of a rant. Yes, Capcom did have a deal with Nintendo, and they fucked it up, and it's actually one of the things that led to Resident Evil sucking. And, created a huge different trajectory in the series. See, Shinji Megami was the creator of Resident Evil. He came up with it. He is the heart and soul behind Resident Evil. And even the games that he didn't directly direct, he supervised. Anything Resident Evil from the start up until around this point was done through him. And he was a big fan of Resident Evil. Or, I'm sorry, I'm not Resident Evil. He was a big fan of Nintendo. He had friends who worked at Nintendo, and he thought that GameCube was underappreciated and underutilized. So he actually made a deal. He made 2 deals with Nintendo. One, that all of the numbered Resident Evil games would be exclusive to GameCube. And 2, that there would be 5 exclusive Capcom games for GameCube called the Capcom 5. This was Beautiful Joe, PN03, Killer 7, fuck. What were the other two? What were the other two? And was it Resident Evil? And then GameCube? It was Resident Evil 4. I'm sorry, 4. And then something else. Fuck, I'll have to look it up. But it was Capcom 5. And Resident Evil 4 was literally built from the ground up for GameCube to use this technology. That's why the PS2 port... PN03 is great. I love PN03. You should play it. It's fun. It's short. It's not a very long game. It'll only take you 4 or 5 hours to beat it. It's replayable. That's why people shit on it, because it was short, but it's a fun game. It's really unique. That's why the PS2 port of Resident Evil 4 sucks so much ass. Because it was entirely built with GameCube's unique hardware, and the PS2 didn't have a lot of the technology that GameCube did. So when they brought the PS2, they had to gut a lot of the graphics, because there was no equivalent. But, however, GameCube, as I'm pretty sure you're aware, didn't do very well financially. It was the 3rd place in the war, even the original Xbox outsold it. So Capcom, wanting to get their bottom line, went behind his back, and even though he promised Nintendo that RE4 and those games like Beautiful Joe would be exclusive, they brought all of them except for PN03 to PS2 behind his back, and it pissed him off so badly that he left the fucking company. He had been with Capcom for like 20 years, and they actually dishonored him because he gave Nintendo his word. And Capcom agreed with him at first. So for them to go behind his back and to bring them to PS2 without telling him was a slap in the face, especially because you know how big Japanese people are about honor. And it pissed him off so badly he left the company. And it's considered a turning point for the series because up until then, Capcom Capcom had him behind the wheel. And most of the people who were there when Capcom started were there up until then. But when he left, a lot of people left with him. Like, Hideki Kamiya, you know, the guy who did Bayonetta, he used to work on DMC. After Shinji Mikami left, he worked under him, he left with him. So when he left, there was a big fucking exodus from the company of talent. Because he was a big deal, and I mean, a lot of people went with him. And it actually hurt Nintendo's relationship with Capcom, because actually, up until Capcom did that, yeah. Up until Capcom did that, Nintendo and Capcom were really close. They actually let Nintendo actually let Capcom make Zelda games. They did Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Season for Game Boy Color, and then they did the Minish Cap for Game Boy Advance. And that is the only time that a third-party developer has made a mainline Zelda game. They'd had like a couple spin-offs like Hyrule Warriors, but so they literally, before Capcom pissed in their face, were so close to Capcom that they let them fuck with Zelda. Like, they let nobody fuck with Zelda. And obviously, after the Capcom pulled that bullshit that took those exclusive games and they gave them to Sony after they said they wouldn't, it soured their relationship with Nintendo for a long time. Like, they're just now starting to fix those bridges. So, it was a huge upset. And is considered to be one of the biggest dick moves. And Shinji Mikami leaving is considered to be one of the things that pushed Resident Evil towards 6. Many people believe that if he hadn't have left, RE6 being a fucking Call of Duty shooter would have never happened. And we'd basically be living in an entirely different timeline with different Resident Evil games. So it was a big deal. And it was a pretty shit thing to do. But, Shinji Mikami... Okay, dude. See, and I know this is a bit of a TED Talk, but, like, I love Resident Evil and I love the history. Shinji Mikami is a fucking genius. He is up there with Hideo Kojima, in my mind. He would take games that were fucked up and he would fix them. Okay, so the original Resident Evil 2 was almost terrible. He directed the first Resident Evil. And then with Resident Evil 2, he wanted to, after the huge success of Resident Evil, because it put them on the map as a huge success for PlayStation 1, he started in more of an executive role, overseeing multiple games. So he left Resident Evil 2 to different people. He still, like, would check in, produce it, yada, 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 but he wasn't the director like RE1 at first. However, when he came back to check on them, the original Resident Evil 2 was fucking awful. It was, it had this weird techno-anime kind of aesthetic that was shitty. It had hordes of zombies, but they were really low poly, and all kinds of really, really, really fucking weird design decisions. And you can actually look that up one of these days, because it was called, now it's called Resident Evil 1.5, or 1.9, because it was very nearly finished, and it was supposed to come out in 97. But it was terrible. And many people, like, you can actually find, they have a demo of that online, like, the old build. Somebody found, like, a nearly complete build of the old version of the game. Yeah, it is pretty funny. You can actually play it now. A largely complete build of the original version, because somebody found it and got it to a playable state. I think it's RE 1.9 or something like that, is what they call it, okay? He took over. Originally, Resident Evil 2 was supposed to come out in 97. He pushed it back to 98, and he overhauled the gameplay himself. He's the one who came up with the idea to make the chick, Claire Redfield. Originally, her name was Elza Walker, and she looked very similar to Claire, but she was kind of weird and a biker chick. He was the one who said, okay, we should make her Claire Redfield, so there's a connection to the first Resident Evil. Then he brought back the zombies to a closer thing, he gave it the police station aesthetic instead of this weird Neo-Tokyo thing. And well, you know, the rest is history. People fucking loved RE2. It's considered to be one of the sequels that was just way better than the first game. And I mean, I don't know, actually. We don't know. I would like it if Claire was in RE9, but we don't know. Was Sherry being in RE9? Probably. But, you know, I'm sure they're going to have classic characters pop up besides Leon, especially with Sherry. But I hope she's in there. I don't know yet, and I'm avoiding any spoilers. But, okay, so he basically came in. Oh, no. I hoped Claire would be a 9. It's not confirmed yet. He came in and basically overhauled RE2 and got it to a fixed perspective with only a year to spare after the original game is a fucking train wreck. You know how hard it is to come in and unfuck a game like that in a year, and yet it turned out to be one of people's favorite Resident Evil games? How hard it is to turn a game around that's awful? Like, he basically completely remade the fucking thing in a year. And then he did the same thing for both Devil May Cry and Resident Evil 4. Okay, so here's this. I've told you this before. Devil May Cry, the first one, was supposed to be Resident Evil 4. And then they realized, okay, we've got demons, we've got swords. This is too different from Resident Evil. And they were gonna cancel it. And Shinji Megami stepped in and he's like, hey, yeah, this isn't Resident Evil, but this is really good. You shouldn't cancel this. You should just give it another name. And it became DMC. So he single-handedly saved DMC and created DMC. They were going to send it to the chopping block, and he was the one who said, okay, no, this is a Resident Evil, but you should still fucking release this. And that's why there's a lot of similarities between Dante and Leon. Because Dante was really supposed to be fucking Leon. So we wouldn't have DMC without him saying, okay, no, this is a game we're saving. They were gonna cancel it. So just for that, legend. To recognize the potential there. Think about, like, how much of an impact DMC has made, and they would have scrapped that fucking shit. And then, Resident Evil 4 languished in development hell. They went through not one, not two, 3 different versions of Resident Evil 4, Alex. And they couldn't decide a direction. He had left, once again, he was supervising other games, like he did Beautiful Joe. He directed Beautiful Joe. And did a lot of other stuff like Piano 3. So they kept restarting RE3. And I'm not even talking about DMC 1. So basically there was like 4 versions of RE4. It was in development hell. And then Capcom, the higher-ups at Capcom, were so fucking upset because they had spent all this money on these builds. It wasn't like a prototype. They had almost basically released 3 games that they were going to cancel RE4. And then Shinji Megami said, okay, I will fix this. He directly took over, and in about a year, he overhauled it into the original RE4 that we know today, that is now considered one of the greatest fucking games of all time ever. Okay? So, he basically made RE4 in a year, and saved it from cancellation. Which, once again, the fact that he did RE4 in, like, a year, and it is so, like... right? Dude, I love Resident Evil. It's, like, one of my favorite game series, dog. But if I'm making you want to play Resident Evil, it's a good thing, dude. God in heaven, which mean God in heaven, only God in heaven, not for same for anyone else. God in heaven, Jesus, please do me 4 favors. 1, please let me be okay. 2, please let me be okay. 3, please do me some deals, bring, please do some deals, make certain and remember that man. 4, please do me so... he was the one who gave RE4 the behind-the-back camera. That was his idea. Because originally, RE4 had fixed camera angles. But people were complaining about the camera angles and the fixed camera angles being outdated. So, and they had the mechanic where you would aim your gun, but he felt like aiming your gun with a static 3D camera angle was really clunky. Because, you know, like, imagine precision aiming with a fixed camera angle. So he was the one who's like, this game is missing something. Put the camera behind the shoulder. That literally created the modern camera for, like, every third-person fucking shooter to this day. In 12 months. Okay? So, like, literally, Shinji Megami has, like, a track record of taking games that were fucked. Yeah. That were fucked and fixing them. And that is a skill that very few people possess. Normally, when a game is like they've wasted time and they fuck the game, it's kind of fucked. Especially back then when you couldn't patch a game. So to have the skill to be able to take a game that was completely fucked and unfuck it, and not only make it unfucked, but make it one of the best games ever is amazing. Like, that's one of the things that I say that I love about Resident Evil 4. That game is considered to be one of the greatest games ever made, rightfully so. But the development for RE4 is a fucking nightmare. They went through no fewer than 4 fucking different versions. And the last version of RE4, the one that we played, they did in a year on the skin of their teeth. Like, they were rushing to get that shit out the door. So, the fact that RE4 turned out so great against all odds is amazing. You know how many games have had, like, a fucked up development cycle and they turned into just fucking garbage? So, like, the fact that, like, RE4 had such a difficult development cycle and it turned out the way it did is nothing short of a fucking miracle. And it's largely due to Shinji Megami coming in and saving that shit. So, right? So I have nothing but love for him. And then, after he left after he left Capcom, he did The Evil Within. And The Evil Within 2. Which, if you haven't played them, they're also fucking incredible. But I'm sure you've heard of them. They're highly regarded as fucking amazing horror games. And are basically like Resident Evil games, like modern Resident Evil games, but without the name. Like, they have a lot of similarities, and he was deliberately trying to make a modern take on it because he saw Resident Evil 6, and he thought it was garbage. So he's like, okay, how about I show them how a modern RE game should actually be done? So literally, The Evil Within was designed to be like, let's show them how you should fucking do a modern RE game. So, yeah, sorry, I could gush all fucking day, dude, about Shinji Megami. He's one of my favorite creators, and he's literally up there with Hideo Kojima, in my opinion. Creating Resident Evil, basically saving DMC, doing The Evil Within, doing fucking Beautiful Joe, being such a strong supporter of the GameCube, coming out with some of the best fucking GameCube games, being a man of integrity, that, you know, wasn't going to take Capcom's bullshit and left, and said, fuck you guys, when he had a very high-paying, cushy job. He could have just said, fuck it. He's a fucking G. And yeah, sorry, I know that was a huge TED Talk, but he might have, I don't know. He's got his hands in a lot of pies. He also did Ghostwire Tokyo, and that's on PS Plus, Alex. If you ever get a chance to play that, you should. It's set in this possessed Tokyo where, like, Oni run the streets, and it's like a first-person game with magic, and it's fucking dope. Because it's, like, one of the best takes of magic I've seen. You do all these cool hand motions. So, you know, in, like, most magic games, you do, like, a simple fireball, you throw it. This has all these cool, like, fucking Doctor Strange. Oh, no, dude, I love Ghostwire Tokyo, Alex. Seriously. Fuck the haters. You should play it. It's really good. It has, like, all these Doctor Strange hand movements. So when you see him casting spells, you see your character pulling a fucking magic rope and shit. It's awesome. And you have, like, a spectral bow. And you can glide through the air. and summon a ghost tiger to fight with you. Use giant fireballs. Rip enemies' hearts out of their chests, so like you stun them, and then use fucking Kung Fu. And it is one of the most detailed recreations of Tokyo ever. It's Shibuya, Tokyo, after a demon invasion has left all the citizens gone. And it is so lifelike, it like looks like you're walking Tokyo streets. And it's so dense. Almost every building is enterable. It's almost like a Japanese Oni Far Cry. Because, you know, it's in first person, you use a bow and arrow, you gather supplies, you explore places and free bases, but it's supernatural in Tokyo. It's really fucking good. And it was a PS exclusive for a while, for like 2 years. And if you get the chance to play it, Alex, you should. It's on PS Plus. So you got nothing to lose, and I think you'd actually like it, because it's got like kick-ass magic and bow and exploring an open map. And it's got horror elements. You actually fight the guy that's... Dude, you actually fight the monsters that inspired Slenderman. Like, they're like Japanese dudes in a suit. Long Japanese dudes with gray faces that stretch out their arms. They're literally what inspired Slenderman. So you're sitting there whooping Slenderman's ass in the streets of Tokyo. And gliding from fucking rooftops. And you have like a ghost animal that you can summon to fight with you. Like a ghost tiger, and sick it after enemies. And Kung Fu and martial arts and shit. Like, it's actually really good. I might play it sometime. And if I do, I'll invite you to the stream. Fuck what the critics say. It's really good. And that's why they hated it, actually. Because the critics said, well, this is just like a Japanese Far Cry with supernatural stuff. Who wants that? I do. I want that. Like, it was almost like it was a casualty of the Ubisoft hate. Because it came out right when Ubisoft hate was at a thing, so people said, oh, this is using the Ubisoft formula, fuck this game. But for me, Far Cry in Tokyo with magic and ghosts and shit? Yeah! Yeah! So for me, I'm like, okay, you're selling me on this game, but yeah, sorry. And you can try it for free. It's only like 20 gigs too, so it's not even a big download, but yeah, it's great. And it's a smaller map, because it's like a detailed city, but like every building is enterable. It's super fucking dense. And I mean, it makes sense, because Tokyo is one of the densest cities in the world. So, I'd give it a chance if you want. I mean, you got nothing to lose trying it for free. But yeah. And every building is climbable. So, like, you can go in every building, just about, and actually, climb every building and fucking glide from the buildings. And, like, the game world is so detailed, Alex, that you can go into shops and they have individual products on the shelves you can't even interact with. Like, the game got praised for being so fucking detailed. Like, literally, they made every corner of this map by hand. So it's not like the biggest map, but it's like every inch of this map feels like there's something in it. And I played it, and it's great. So, yeah. But I sorry to go on a tangent. I just wanted you to understand the history. You brought up the GameCube thing, and not only was that considered, what they did to Shinji was considered one of the biggest dick moves in gaming, but it changed the trajectory of gaming. Resident Evil wouldn't have went the way it did without it. Their relationship with Nintendo would have stayed without it. Like, it's considered one of the moments that changed gaming. Like, it had a huge ripple effect. You wouldn't have Bayonetta without it, because, like I said, he left with Shinji and then went on to join Sega and do Bayonetta. So, like, them pissing on Shinji Megami is considered to be one of the defining moments of game history, and you brought it up, so I couldn't just explain it without explaining it, you know what I mean? So... Oh, never mind. It tells me that's the order. Sorry, my bad. Oh, no. Oh, hold on. Damn it. Come on. And I love Resident Evil, so... But yeah, it's considered to be one of the shittiest things that Capcom ever did. And one of the biggest upsets in gaming history. It changed gaming. So... It's like a major event in gaming history, and you already brought up They being on GameCube, so I couldn't mention the games on GameCube and what happened there without mentioning the bullshit. Oh, okay, here we go. 4, 2, 3, 1. Gotcha, that's the button. Okay. 4, 2, 3, 1. And I eat, sleep, and breathe Resident Evil, so I love the history of it.
Barry? Thank God you're safe.
You too, Jill. A noise I heard brought me down here, but I didn't expect to find a place like this. Have any idea as to what might be at the bottom?
There's only one way to find out.
Also, Shinji Megami is known for being a fucking hilarious. A character like Hideo Kojima. He has a Twitter, and he has a bunch of famous like meme replies that have gone viral because he's hilarious.
Jill, go check it out. We had enough surprises for one day. I'll stay here and secure our escape route in case something happens.
Okay.
Like, when Ghost of Tsushima came out, he played it. I mean, he fully 100% played it. And he was like, shit, this is fucking awesome. He's like, this is the samurai game I wish I had made. Well, they're not bad, dude. It's just they're not proper Resident Evil games in a lot of ways. 5 is pretty good. I like 5. But the last 2 chapters of 5 fucking suck. Like, chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4 are great. You have the African village with the harsh sunlight. You have the marsh. You have the mine with you and light. Like, but chapter 5 and 6 have zombies with machine guns. And it's a load of bullshit stuff. So I like 5 for the most part, but I feel like they dropped the ball in the last act. And suddenly you're fighting zombies with machine guns, and it's like, what are we doing? And then 6, rather than realizing that they had kind of went too far, 5 said, let's make the whole fucking game like this. So it's not that I dislike 6 at all. It's just that it's not a proper Resident Evil game. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen me now play a fair amount of Resident Evil games. Compare Resident Evil 2, 4 to 6. Like, Resident Evil 6 is the Black Flag. 1 second. I'm coming! That's the best comparison I can give you for 6. It's the Black Flag Resident Evil. If you judge it on its own right, it's a great game. It's a fun shooter. It's a terrible Resident Evil game, though. That's where it pissed people off, because when you buy Resident Evil, you expect Resident Evil. That was like Call of Duty kind of campaign. So, no, 6 is not bad. It's just not really a proper Resident Evil game. That's the thing. And then 5, I like 5. It's just, every time I replay that, I basically want to stop after chapter 4. Like, the first 75% of 5 is so good, and then the last 2 chapters are fucking terrible. Like, I was streaming 5, and literally I wanted to quit during the last 2 chapters. And I hoped I was wrong, because I had played it back in the day, and I remember hating those chapters. And I thought, oh, maybe it's been, 10, 15 years, maybe I'll have a different opinion. Nope. The last 2 chapters of 5 suck ass. So it's like, 5 is mostly a good game, but it really sucks that they dropped the ball at the end. Like, the last act just kind of garbage. So, yeah, I don't dislike 5, but 5 is when they started to move away from what Resident Evil should be, and then 6 is when they just went crazy and they needed to readjust. That's what I'm saying. And I think if Shinji Megami was with them, that never would have happened. They would have stayed feeling like Resident Evil. The Evil Within is third person behind the back. Still feels like Resident Evil. So that's my thing. But 1 second, I'll be right back. You know. Sorry, I had to talk to my mom real quick. I have to go to the store in like 30 minutes. Not right now, but then I'll quit the stream and I'll be back. You can join again. I got up real late, so I'm going to be up for a while. But yeah, so it's like, it's also the fact they call it 6. Like, if they had called Resident Evil 6 something else, like a spin-off, I think people would have liked it. It's like, it would be like, you know, you like Metal Gear Revengeance. I like Metal Gear Revengeance. But it's clearly spin-off. I think that your reaction to it and a lot of people's reaction to it would have been entirely different if they had called it Metal Gear Solid 5. People would have been like, what the fuck? So, I think, like, they probably could have gotten away with Resident Evil 6 if they had called it something else. And called it, like, Resident Evil spin-off instead of the next 6. Like, when you call it a main numbered game, people have certain expectations. It's like Black Flag. I found it especially insulting. Like, this is the next main numbered Assassin's Creed game. 4! And it's basically a spin-off. They should just call it Pirates Creed, man. And not to mention, it was the last Assassin's Creed game to use a number. So, like, it wouldn't have chapped my ass so much if they hadn't called it, like, this is the next main game, bro. But yeah, 6 is fun. I won't say it's a bad game, it's just, when I come to play Resident Evil, dude, I come for horror and shit like that. I don't come for, like, a Call of Duty-like game, you know what I mean? Oh shit. Well, I mean, I like Rising just as much, you know? I think it's a good game, but it's not like a proper Metal Gear game. And they knew that. They didn't, like, if they had tried to call it Metal Gear Solid 5, it would have been like a slap in the face. So they were wise to call it a spin-off, and I think a lot of people were fine with it because they did that. So if they literally had called it Resident Evil Shooter or something like that, it's like 6, I think would have gotten a lot better reaction. And then turn the switch. Well, I hope they end up remastering it. But it needs to come after all the main games are remastered, you know what I mean? Like, the most important thing to me right now is getting all of the main games playable on modern hardware. Like, spin-offs should come after. So I think they're completely wise to focus on the main games right now. And I think they could totally do another volume that's just spin-off games, like Metal Gear Acid, and Acid 2, and then Rising. And I would be fine with that. But I understand why they made 4 the priority. 4 obviously needed to come first. Yeah, true. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Rising has the benefit of being on Steam, having a modern way to play it. There's no legit legal way to play it on any modern platform right now. Right now, until that collection comes out, it's either fucking PS3 or bust. So it's definitely more important to get MGS3 on other platforms than it is Rising, which already has Steam at least. And it's backwards compatible on Xbox. So you can play it on PC and Xbox. Yes, yeah.
Barry!
MGS4 is awesome. I know people get upset because it has a lot of cutscenes. But honestly, I can kind of understand why. Because you have to remember, 4 is still the end of the series. 5 is like the interlink between Big Boss and Solid Snake. The actual end of the series still is 4. And it is the entire end of Raiden. It's the entire end of Snake. It's the entire end of the story arc that began with Metal Gear Solid 1. So I get it that 4 has a lot of like cutscenes, but they had a lot of fucking ground to cover. They couldn't leave any of that shit left open. So, you know, and a lot of those scenes are really important for fans of the series. Like, I can understand maybe if you're a newcomer, you're like, oh my god, there's so many cutscenes. But when you're a huge fan of the series and you're going into the end, all those cutscenes that end those plot threads are really important. They had a lot of loose ends to tie. Yeah, they are good. That's literally where they got Ninja Raiden from. And then the people liked him in MGS4 so much. They're like, hey, you know, we should probably make a game with him. But, like, literally, if it wasn't for him popping up in MGS4 and whooping ass, there would be no Rising. There was never a plan to do a Raiden game originally. People just thought he was so fucking cool in MGS4 that he deserved his own game. He wasn't nearly as good in MGS2, Alex. 4 made him a lot cooler. I honestly don't really like Raiden much in 2, if I'm honest with you. They actually tried to make Raiden like a traditional anime protagonist and give him arc that was like a traditional anime protagonist, and I honestly fucking hated it. And there's like an entire section in 2 where Raiden gets kidnapped and he loses his shit and he's running around naked with his hands like this, covering his dick. And the whole time I'm playing that, I'm thinking, what the fuck am I playing? And they also have fucking Rose in MGS2, and oh my fucking god, she's so annoying. In MGS1, you had such a good support team. You had Naomi, Master Miller, Olga, Otacon, Campbell, Mei Ling, and then in Metal Gear Solid 2, you only have like 2 radio contacts. Campbell, who's still cool, and Rose. And her entire arc, Alex, I shit you not, her entire fucking arc in MGS2 is trying to get Raiden to open up about his feelings. Well, you just won't tell me how you feel or your past. I know that you had a life as a child soldier in Africa, but you should be more open with your feelings. And that's what the conversations you have in MGS2 when you go to fucking save. So that's a major thing that makes me hate Metal Gear Solid 2. You went from having this amazing radio support in MGS1 to basically talking cringy relationship shit with the Rose, and that's it. And like you've played MGS1, Alex. So much of the story, it comes from the radio, the support team. So for me, the radio sucking so badly really hurts too. Fuck, dude, even in 3 you have a great support team. I know you haven't played 3, but you have fucking Paramedic, Sigint, Eva, fucking awesome femme fatale blonde chick, and Zero as your support team. So it's like Metal Gear Solid 2 is the only one with a shitty support team. And then like most of Raiden's support team, most of Raiden's conversations are her cringing about their relationship. Like I remember one time, you'll be saving. Okay, so if you know the general setup for MGS2, they're gonna cause a bomb to go off on this ocean company, the Big Shell. That's the basic synopsis, not a spoiler. And that will cause a massive oil incident. It's an oil tanker in the middle of the Hudson River. Like it will cause billions and billions and billions of dollars of damage in crude, and really fuck up the city. So there's major stakes for MGS2. Besides the nuclear shit, it's like if we fuck this up, we're gonna drown New York in oil and make the water uninhabitable. And she's like, where are you gonna take me on a date, Raiden? Do you forget our anniversary, Raiden? And it's like, bitch, get your priorities straight. You think now is the time to talk about this shit? Hold on. And she will do that shit while you're trying to save. They're like, oh my god, can I fucking save in peace? Holy shit. I feel like you're a clingy ex-girlfriend, and I'm not even dating you! And it's like, can a man save in peace? God damn! It's like, man, I really miss it in MGS1 when, like, Mei Ling would give you, like, a cool proverb, not big guilt trip. Like, why is the person who I'm supposed to save the game with guilt tripping me about a relationship? What the fuck is going on here? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, they didn't have that in MGS4. There was no cool Ninja Raiden. You know what I mean? Fuck. That's I missed an item. That's okay. Oh, shit happens. Not biggie. They talk about how Metal Gear Solid 2 is actually ahead of the times with the trends, and I agree with them, Alex. But it was also ahead of the time in the trends, you know, to put the fucking fries in the bag, bro. It's like, goddamn, bro, let's put the fries in the bag. Save. It's like, I get it. I get it. You want to talk about a relationship. I get it. You want to talk about a relationship. It's like, can you wait until we're not under the threat of nuclear Armageddon? Meanwhile, and then that just goes to show you the difference between Solid Snake and Big Boss. Or, I'm sorry, Big Boss, Solid Snake, and Raiden. Big Boss and Solid Snake and Raiden is sitting there having conversations with this bitch about the relationship. Meanwhile, Big Boss and Metal Gear Solid 3 has Ava, big old blonde femme fatale, boobs out to here, trying to fuck him repeatedly, and he doesn't fuck her until after the mission is done. Repeatedly throughout the game, she's like, hey, do you want to bang me, Snake? And he's like, nah, bitch, we're gonna finish this. And then after the world is saved, then he tags and bags. That's having your fucking priorities straight. First we avoid a nuclear holocaust, then I lay the pipe. Thank you. And I mean, she's basically begging him to give it to her, and he's like, nah, man. Okay? And that's why Big Boss is a fucking G. If Rose had turned to Big Boss, he's like, bitch, I do not have time for this. They're gonna drop a fucking nuke. Oh my god. Shut up. But I hope you like Metal Gear Solid 2. I don't dislike it. I want to be very clear there. I will never like Raiden as much as Big Boss or Solid Snake, but I don't dislike it. I would just say out of all the Kojima games, I think that's the weakest one. I still like it. I've still played it. I've still played it a good bit. I've just, like, you compared to Metal Gear Solid 1 or Metal Gear Solid fucking 3 after it, or 4, I can't say I like 2 more than any of the other games. Okay, finally, I'm about to enter the lab. That is true. I will say it was a game that strongly showed... It was a game that strongly showed the potential of PS2. It came out in the first year of PS2, and for 2001, it did look amazing. I cannot lie at all about that. You're right, 100%. And not only did it look amazing... but it ran at 60 FPS, like, flawlessly on the base PS2. So, it looked amazing, and it fucking ran amazing. So, yeah, I agree. And it proved that it wasn't just a fluke. Because, you know, Metal Gear Solid 1 was such a huge game, it helped put PlayStation on the map. And it was such a big deal at the time. It was like the birth of 3D stealth games. And a lot of people are like, can he recapture that magic? And that too proved that no, it wasn't a fluke. Kojima's a fucking genius. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to come up with one amazing game. It's even harder to consistently whoop ass. So yeah, I agree. Like I don't dislike Metal Gear Solid 2 at all. I'm just saying, like, if I put it up to Metal Gear Solid 1, I like Metal Gear Solid 1's characters and shit more. I like 3 more, I like 4 more, I like Peace Walker more. It's just like my least favorite of the main series. I still like it. It's just, you know. Well, it already did have an option to let you play it at a higher res. It's getting something on top of that. Because they already allowed you to play it at a higher resolution than before. I'll have to Google that. Because if they're improving it even further, that's great. Oh, that's great. No, that's dope. I can't wait for that. I just wish they would do more. I wish they would do more with Metal Gear Solid 1, especially in the collection. You still can't up the resolution. In 1. Even though it's a PS1 game, a fucking toaster could up the resolution, so it's still basically the PS1 resolution. And you can't remap the buttons in 1. In 2 and 3, they actually added in a free update the ability to remap the buttons. And they never brought that to 1 for some reason. So by default, circle is X. Do you know what I mean? And that drives me fucking crazy. So every time I play Metal Gear Solid 1 on PS5, I have to go in and use the PS5 manual button optimization, because I can't be using circle and X reversed. That fucks me up. So, like, I kind of was hoping that they would add some better shit to 1. I hope they added that update to 1, not just 2 and 3. Because they seem to upgrade 2 and 3, and not 1 for some reason. That's kind of weird. Especially because, like, Metal Gear Solid 1, like, the majority of PS1 games has really bad texture warping. And, like, every modern PS1 emulator lets you turn that off. And it looks so much better. Like, I don't know if you've ever played around with, like, DuckStation or whatever, like, turning off the texture warping. It's a fucking game changer for PS1 games. And they can easily do that. So, like, right now... oh, that's great. I'm excited for that, then. It kind of sucked that I could literally emulate it better at a higher resolution than on the Master Collection on a fucking emulator. So, I hope that they brought that to MGS1, too. It deserves it. And it's kind of weird that they would give 2 and 3 the treatment and not 1. Like, 1 deserves it. Boom. Oh, it did? Well, probably for Switch too. Oh shit, actually, you know what? I'm gonna Google that now. You got me intrigued. I might have to load up the old games. And try that out. Oh, and it's the final update. Well, I mean, they've already updated a lot. Oh shit! Yeah! I'm reading the PlayStation blog. I don't know about MGS4, but they confirmed that they'll be online in Peace Walker. Fuck yeah! Oh, what? You actually get, if you have save files, Alex, from Volume 1, you get a bonus camo in Volume 2. That's fucking sick. That's fucking sick. I love it when they do that. They reward you for having prior games. Oh, and oh, wow, that's smart. That's smart. They actually, they put, Metal Gear Solid Delta, and Master Collection Volume 1 on sale. Okay, I'm seeing some of the stuff, but I'm not seeing patch notes. What the fuck? I don't want to see I want to see the actual fucking patch notes. Dude, I may actually have to reinstall them then today. That's dope. I didn't know they already dropped the update today. That's sick. Oh, it includes Nintendo Switch 2 support. What's the improvements? Oh, hey! Well, you can now play Metal Gear Solid 2 in 60 FPS on Switch 2. Let me... I mean, at least it came. Oh, God. I'm looking for the patch notes, and I'm not finding them. It's pissing me off. I don't want to see IGN's coverage. Give me the actual fucking patch notes. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna take a short break, probably install that. I want to try that out, and then I have to go to the store, and I'll be back. Hopefully you can join. If not, I understand. Well, I mean, it's still cool. I pretty much given up hope on them updating the games. So, I'm, happy for that. Because I have to go to the store. I promised my mom I'd go to the store. And I've got to quickly run. They're only going to be open for another hour, so they're open till 11. It's like 10:10, so I need to get out of the way, and then I want to try out those updates real bad and see what they did. I didn't know they released today. You said they were coming, but I didn't know they already fucking dropped, so I'm actually interested to test them out. You know me, I love Metal Gear. I can always go back to the old Metal Gears. Alright, man, I'll be back.